Hello, everybody, and welcome to the triathlete community. As promised, we are going to help you get more and more fit and keep giving you great ideas to help you see improvements, hopefully that you've never seen. I know if you're like me, there's been several times where I felt like I'm really in shape, and when I run up the stairs, I feel super out of breath. Or sometimes we feel like we have the energy to go faster, but our legs just won't move any faster, right? That all comes down to kinetics. Kinetics are the way that your brain talks to your muscles. We have to improve that channel and build essentially, like if you can think of your nerves as roads to your muscles, we want to stop using roads and start building super highways, right? So that we can get right from the brain to the muscle so that it can start acting quicker and quicker and quicker. And so when you talk to the brain or when you talk to the muscles from the brain, everything's happening super quick. So with that in mind, I want you to think about a couple of things as we talk about some of these workouts that we're going to have you doing. Yes, some of them are hard work, but sometimes, especially in the beginning, it's not going to be like you're working hard the entire time. You have to set recovery in there so that you are fresh enough to go at the next interval with the same intensity, okay? Don't feel like you have to be killing yourself the entire workout in order to get the benefit of this workout. This is one of the biggest mistakes I work with my athletes all the time. There's absolutely a time and a place to work super hard, and I'm not saying that this isn't working hard. It's just going to be a little bit different, okay? This is the off season. People who are usually doing long course triathlon, I would even say Olympic distance is borderline long course for some of the times that some of the people are doing, and that's okay. We really want to be working on things that have been holding you back. I have yet to run into too many triathletes that endurance is their limiter. Most people can get to the finish line. That's not usually the issue. The issue is how fast can you get there? So let's start working on how fast, all right? So bear with me here as I share my screen, and I'm going to pull up a document because it was best illustrated by me just kind of drawing it out. So as I share my screen, let's just go through this document together. All right, let me get myself out of the way. Here's what I want you to think about. We tasked everybody with the responsibility of doing a 6-minute all-out run. All right, now whether or not you truly went all out, you can kind of decide that a little bit. But the reason that we did that is 6 minutes all out is equal to your velocity at VO2 max. And that's expressed in some nomenclatures as VO2, which is your velocity at VO2. For simplicity, let's assume this athlete, so let's use this example because I'm going to show you the workout. Let's assume this athlete did their 6-minute test, which is 360 seconds, right? 6 times 60 seconds. And they were able to cover 180 meters, all right? I did 1,080 meters because it's divisible by 360 very cleanly. So this means that for every 1 second, that athlete traveled 3 meters, right? So they ran 6 minutes all out. They covered, just over or just under 3 laps around the track. And they were able to then therefore cover 3 meters for every second that they traveled, okay? Now we want to take this information. You would apply yours. You would take your distance that you ran, convert it into meters, all right, and then divide it by 360 seconds in order to get what you did for every second, to get your number here. Now, taking this information, we want to set up a course that follows this. I used X's and Y's just to symbolize the cones. You can use hats, t-shirts, cones, water bottles, it doesn't really matter. I sent this to one of my athletes once, funny story, and they spent the day going to Dick's and various sporting goods trying to find X and Y cones. Please don't do that. I know a lot of triathletes are very literal. This is just an example or a diagram, all right? So taking this information, we want to set up a course that follows this, okay? So the X and the Y symbolize cones or any types of markers that you want to put out on the ground, okay? What I'm trying to explain here is you want the distance, let's look at the Y's. You want the distance between these two internal cones to be the distance that you cover at your velocity at VO2 max, or VVO2, times 10, right? So if you're going 3 meters for every 1 second, in 10 seconds, you'd be going 30 meters. So that's the distance we want. So you have to run this pace for 10 seconds to get from this cone to this cone, all right? Once you get to this cone, let's just say we start here, like we're reading, we're going left to right. Once you get to this cone, you want to run exactly half pace to the X cone or the outer marker, or turn around it and come back in 10 seconds. So if you're running at half pace, the total distance round trip has to be half of this distance, right? So from here to here has to be a quarter, because when you go there and come back, it would be half of 30, right? So 7.5 meters out, 7.5 meters back would equal 15, which is half of 30. Now, I've had people ask, can you just do this in a straight line? Here's where the kinetic training comes in. The act of turning around the cone teaches your body to start communicating with your muscles. That turning, even though it's not the hardest part of the workout, is part of that neuromuscular communication channels that we're trying to build. So you'll run, let's start over, from here to here in 10 seconds, and then from here and around here in 10 seconds. And then right when you get here to here in 10 seconds, and then here and around for 10 seconds. And you're gonna keep doing that for 5 minutes. So 10 seconds on, 10 seconds easy, 10 seconds on, 10 seconds easy, 10 seconds on, 10 seconds easy for 5 minutes. You do this for 5 minutes, and when you're done, you recover 5 minutes easy, walk, jog, get some water. Again, this is the part here that's the hardest to convince triathletes to do, take the 5 minutes rest, okay? Because after 2 or 3 minutes, they're gonna be feeling like, okay, I'm ready to go again. I understand that. I know what that feels like. Try not to do that. All right. Here's the only caveat. If you miss this interval from there to here, so if you get 10 seconds in and you're here coming back, so if if you go 10 seconds on, 10 seconds off, 10 seconds on, and you only make it this far, you do that twice and your interval's over. Whatever you made it for that interval, you want to recover exactly the same amount. So if you did 3.5 minutes before you missed it twice, your recovery is 3.5 minutes. We're going to start super simple this week. We're going to do 3 sets of 5 minutes. It might feel easy for some. It might feel easy or harder for others. The only other thing that I do, just because it's just my style, is I always turn, like if I'm going around, if you're following my cursor, if I'm always turning this way, when I get here, I always turn this way, because that'll have me turning over my right shoulder, and then over here turning over my left shoulder, and then turning over my right shoulder, then turning over my left shoulder. And that's it. So the trick is getting the recovery in, being super disciplined, take a string or something like that that is equal to that distance. I'm not going to lie, there's been times I've cheated where I've just sprinted for 10 seconds and started at one cone, dropped a cone at 10 seconds, and then kind of fudged it a little bit. But this is really how it's supposed to be set up, all right? And if you have questions, that's what the community is for, all right? And then we'll build on this a little bit, but we hope to see you all in the community, and hopefully everybody has fun. I would suggest setting this up somewhere safe, like in the middle of a grassy field that like middle of a football field is perfect. Make sure that there's no objects around and that you can kind of do your thing and bring water and enjoy. And if you're running a Thanksgiving 5K or something like that, this is perfect because it's just going to wake your legs up in order to recruit muscle fibers really quick. So I will talk to everybody later, and we will see you next time.